What's going on? My name is Francis, and if you're new to this channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell because I post a new video every single day. My Mindfulness group coaching program is now available and open for enrollment. So if you want to join the class, then consider hitting the website that's in the description box of this video, and keep in mind that there are limited spots available and not everyone is guaranteed enrollment in the class. So if you want to join the class, then just hit the website that's in the description box of this video. What we're going to be talking about in this video is how to deeply connect to the present moment. Okay, because when it comes to connecting deeply to the present moment, what you got to understand is that the mind can't actually grasp what it means to connect deeply to the moment. The thinking mind is just one part of reality, and it's one small component to who you truly are and the essence of who you truly are. And you trying to understand the depth and the experience of the present moment through the thinking mind is not going to allow you to fully understand the depth and the experience and who you truly are beyond the thinking mind. Because the thinking mind is just one little piece of reality. And if you want to connect to the depth of who you are, then you have to look a little bit deeper than any thought that your mind will give you as an answer. Because your mind and any answer that your mind gives you when it comes to the place that I'm pointing you in this video is not going to be the answer you're looking for. Consider that when it comes to connecting deeply to the moment, your mind cannot always give you the answer to certain questions, like when I ask you certain questions that are going to come up in this video or any other video on my channel. When spiritual teachings are trying to point you deeply to something that you can't access on the mind, don't expect that your mind is going to give you the answer that you're looking for. Because here's the thing. A lot of us are unconsciously absorbed in the thinking mind without even realizing it. And when you're unconsciously absorbed in the thinking mind, this is not allowing you to connect to the depth and the aliveness and what is actually happening in this moment right now. Because there's always a depth and an aliveness and a beauty to the present moment, like what you're hearing, the sensation of your breathing, what you're seeing. And it may sound cliche, but it's not. Because what happens is most people have their attention and their focus unconsciously absorbed in the thinking mind without even realizing it. So there's all these sensations happening, there's this depth and there's this beauty to the moment, but we don't even have awareness of it because we're completely absorbed. Our attention is absorbed by something else, which happens to be the thinking mind unconsciously. So not only is the thinking somewhere else and it's not in the moment, but it's happening unconsciously without us even realizing it. So there's no training of where that awareness is going to go, but the awareness just goes into the thinking and it just stays there most of the day. And then maybe occasionally you get glimpses of presence doing certain activities, like when you go to nature or when you are playing a sport or when you're having fun with your friends. So the awareness will temporarily go into the moment, you're enjoying yourself, you're in nature, the awareness goes from the thinking into the moment, but then what begins to happen is we go right back into the thinking unconsciously. And most people don't even understand that they are actually connecting to a deeper part of themselves that goes much deeper than the thinking mind. So some people actually enter the present moment unconsciously without even realizing it. And they don't realize that they're actually connecting to a deeper essence of who they actually are. But the thing is, you can actually do this consciously and formally with the practice of meditation. So rather than just connecting to this part of yourself without realizing it, meditation is the formal practice of I am going to sit down right now and be present to the moment. So even if you become aware of the sensation of your breathing right now, notice how a second ago you were actually unconscious of this. Now you're conscious of the breathing. So it's not that the breathing wasn't happening, it's just that you were unconscious of it. And so you didn't realize that you were actually breathing in the background until I shifted your awareness to the breathing. And as you feel this, you might feel that your mind is just calming down just a little bit, but then it doesn't take long before the awareness goes back into the thinking. And so being deeply connected to the moment is the practice of actually bringing your awareness to the moment and then staying there. That is where meditation comes in. But this can go a lot deeper, because shifting your awareness from the thinking to the moment is actually just the first step. And you may actually feel a lot more present simply shifting your awareness from the thinking to the moment, just by choosing to consciously bring your attention to the breathing rather than allow it to go wherever it wants. But you can actually go a level further by choosing to not only practice being present to the moment, which is already the next level. You can retrain your mind, but the next level is actually to notice the awareness of the awareness. Okay, and this is going to go very, very deep, because when I'm asking you to become aware of awareness, this is definitely not something that your mind can grasp. The sensation of your breath is already something that your mind can't grasp, because the sensation of your breath is not a thought. Okay, there's a distinction to be made between sensations and thinking about sensations. This distinction alone will already allow you to deeply connect to the present moment. But if you want to take it a step further, what you can understand is that underlying awareness that is happening in the background of the thinking and the breath, okay? Because if you're doing something like meditation and your awareness goes from the thinking, and then you go from the thinking, and then you go back to the breath, and then you go from the breath back to the thinking, and then you go back to the thinking to the breath, and now let's say I shift your awareness to the sensation of your legs. Let's say I shift your awareness and your focus to the feelings in your shoulders, okay? But what is that thing that actually has the ability to be shifted? So notice how there's that focus point. There's that thing that goes from the thinking, and then you go from the thinking to the breathing, and then from the breathing back into the thinking, okay? And then it keeps shifting. What is that thing? That's what we call awareness. That's what we call pure empty awareness, okay? But notice how the awareness is not thinking or breathing. The awareness is the pure empty awareness that gets almost filled in with the thinking or breathing. Okay, thinking or breathing is what we call form, and then pure empty awareness is what we call the formless. Interesting word though, when I say formless, that implies that it's not actually a form, okay? That implies that it's not actually a form. So I am pointing you to something deeper than any form in reality. I am pointing you to something deeper than thoughts, feelings, or emotions, which pretty much makes up your entire reality. Your entire reality actually consists of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So if there's something deeper than what makes up reality, then what is that thing? How can there be something that's formless happening in the background that's not a form? That's what we call pure empty awareness, okay? So if I was to ask you what is or who is the thing that has the ability to feel the sensation of your breath or be the awareness of thought, who is aware of your thinking, any answer that you give me that comes in the form of a thought would not be the answer. And so when you can connect to this deeper part of yourself that goes beyond the form, that's happening in the background of form, not just the sensation of your breathing, but that thing that has the ability to observe the breathing, what we call empty awareness. It's just that sense of I exist right now, and I am here right now in this moment. It's that sense of existence that comes up before your mind actually comes in and tells you that you exist. It's that sense of being here right now in this moment before the mind actually tells you that you're in this moment. It's that sense of awareness. Some people can actually even call it a field of peace or a field of stillness. Some people even call it consciousness. But notice how any word that I use is not that thing. That thing that I'm pointing to actually goes much deeper than any word that I will ever use to try to explain it. Any word is actually not that thing. So any word that I use to point to that thing is not actually that thing. So that's very, very important to keep in mind. Because when you try to think of the answer logically, like what is that thing, who is the watcher, and you say, oh, that's me, or that's something. Well, that's still form. Something is still form. I'm pointing you to essentially nothing. no thing. But not the answer of nothing, the actual thing that is no thing, which we call formless, which we call consciousness. And when you can actually become conscious of being conscious, become conscious of the fact that you exist, you can feel that spaciousness in the background. Here's the thoughts, and then here I am as the observer. That is what will allow you to connect deeply to the present moment and find out who you truly are, and this will create a strong sense of peace. You will connect to actually what is happening in reality. You will have a strong sense of connection to being right here, right now in this moment. Rather than your attention going to random places, you can actually retrain your awareness and your attention to simply be right here in this moment, right here, right now. Because what's happening in most people's reality is that their awareness is going into random places at random times, and it's unconsciously going on autopilot. But when you can actually develop awareness of awareness and notice where your awareness is going, and then you can actually choose to keep that awareness on one thing rather than go all over the place, you can make a conscious choice to connect deeper to what is happening right now, like the sensation of your breath, or the camera lens that you're looking at when you're recording a video. Whatever it is that you're doing, even if you have some kind of an art that you're connected to, you bring your fullest attention into that art, and you notice that you're actually bringing that attention to that art. You're not allowing your attention and your focus and your energy to unconsciously be absorbed into the thinking, which some people call the ego. If you want to connect deeply to the present moment, understand that you have to learn how to train your awareness to enter the present moment and not allow the awareness to be pulled back into the ego. But the problem is that the ego, in other words, the unconscious thought processes that we're absorbed into, that part of you, that part of the mind, that monkey mind, has a certain momentum where it wants to be pulled into that. Okay, and there's a momentum where you pull yourself back in. So the key is to step back out and bring yourself back to the moment and not allow your mind to actually pull you into that. Because it's not the mind that is the problem, it's the awareness that goes into the mind. It's the conditioning of the awareness. So you want to bring the awareness out of the mind and into the moment, okay? So make sure you guys hit that like button so that more people can see this kind of information, so that they can connect deeply to the present moment and find the fullness and the aliveness out of the experience of life. So hit that like button so more people can actually see this kind of information. Because what you're going to understand is that you can actually connect deeply to the present moment. Okay? And if you learn how to deeply connect to the present moment and you learn how to step out of the ego, your life will just become so much easier. Everything in your life will become very, very easy and effortless, and you can learn to enter something called the flow state, where your ego is not in control anymore. There's a deeper intelligence within you that actually takes over beyond the ego, and you can enter a flow state that allows the true essence of who you are to come out and unfold naturally, where you don't have to control things as much. Your ego doesn't have to control things as much. Because this work is about taking that level of presence and then also bringing it back into your daily life. But the core is to understand how to actually train your awareness so that you can actually live from this space. So once again, make sure you hit that like button so it can affect the YouTube algorithm and more people can see this kind of information so that they can step out of the thinking mind and become conscious of their thoughts and step out of the ego and not be consumed by their thinking. Okay, once again, my group coaching class is very, very limited. So if you want to be a part of the program, then consider hitting the website that's in the description box of this video, and you will learn a lot about how to connect deeply to the present moment and find the essence of who you actually are and step out of the thinking mind. So there's limited spots available. So make sure if you want to join, just send me a message and let me know what it is that you want to know about the program. If you like this kind of content, then consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I post a new video every single day. If you want to become a private client, then consider applying for a free consultation by hitting the website that's in the description box of this video. That's all I have for you today. Have yourself a great day and see you in the next video.